So the Sixers finally, after a sluggish, what is it, hour and 18 minutes, finally make a move. They re-signed Tobias Harris to a 5-year, $180 million extension, which was $10 million less than his max. Um, at least we got something on the move. It seems that the Sixers really prioritize Tobias more, I think, because of his age and the way he fits with this team. Now, this is going to put a lot more pressure on Tobias to be that third option in this offense. When he came here, he did take a back seat. I'm okay with this deal. I wanted to lock up Tobias Harris, one, because he is a lot younger than Jimmy Butler. I think he's a better shooter than Jimmy Butler. He's not the defender Jimmy is, but I just think overall he fits better with this team. The space and pace. He was a prolific three-point shooter before he got here, but again, I think coming to a team where there's four major players that want the ball in their hands, it was a little bit harder for him to shine. But I think this was a good signing for the Sixers. Now we want to see. Priority is what is going to happen with Jimmy Butler. I honestly think that this preludes this contract extension for Tobias, making him a priority over Jimmy. Makes more sense that the Sixers are going to trade Jimmy Butler to maybe the Miami Heat. It might be the best option at this point. Lose him and get something back for him, kind of like the Clippers did with Tobias. I saw a report from Wojnarowski that the Sixers are not likely to offer him that fifth-year option. And that's going to be a big FU, I feel like, to Jimmy Butler. And he's just going to, be real salty about that. So we might see another sign and trade. So if you do that with the Miami Heat, you're likely talking Josh Richardson, so shooting guard to replace J.J. Redick, who also left. I forgot to mention that. We all saw that. He went to the Pelicans. Way too much money. Kind of sucks that you lose J.J., but he's old. He can't play defense. I'm okay with that. So you get Josh Richardson to replace him. Bam Adebayo, probably be involved in the deal to be a backup center to JoJo. Fills another hole. You get Tyler Hero, who I wanted in the draft in the first place. So you got another young shooter. You're also going to have to take on a bad contract. So you've got Goran Dragic on there. Could be backup point guard possibly. I'm trying to think who else is on that team has got a bad contract. Kelly Olynyk. Don't know his contract situation. I'm pretty sure he's overpaid. Who else is on that team? Haslam. No, not Udonis Haslam. He's retired. God, I don't even know who else is on that freaking team. But not a lot. You're going to have to, to even out the money situation for the cap. We're going to have to take on a bad contract or two for that situation. So this just spells that I feel like Jimmy's going to be back. You're going to lose something with Jimmy's tenacity, his ability to be a closer. But I don't think it's a bad thing because it was the direction to get younger. I'm happy with the decision. I wanted Toby back anyway. I'm happy about this. But this is the time to strike now if you're the Sixers because of the transition. The Nets are not going to be anything this year with what they've done. They are going to be a factor when KD gets healthy and back's in the flow of things. Okay, if Kawhi does leave Toronto, another opening. So you could be potentially maybe fighting for the Bucks to be the best team. They traded away Brogdon, or Malcolm Brogdon, sorry, got traded to the Pacers. We can't forget about them because you got Oladipo that's going to get healthy. So, they're going to be a threat, but I still think we are a better team, and we will see what happens, though. It's going to be very interesting. I'm okay, though. I will be okay, I think, if Jimmy does go to Miami. We will just have to wait and see. I do like the signing. I still want to fill out the bench, but the trade with Miami would fill a lot of holes that we are encountering, and we're not spending a lot of money here either, which leads me to believe that this sign and trade is more likely to happen. So Sixers brass want to start fresh. Jimmy's not going to be happy with not getting that fifth option. Redick's free agent. I really liked Terrence Ross, but he's gone. Shooting guards, you've got. I really wanted Bojan Bogdanovic, who went to the Utah. He would have been a nice option, but he gone too. I'm trying to think who else is out there. Brogdon I wanted, but he's gone. They're talking Quinn Cook, who doesn't really get you too excited, you know. Wesley Matthews, he's a little bit older, and he might not cost as much. I really wanted, he resigned with the Blazers. Rodney Hood, but he's gone too. These guys are going fast and furious right now, getting signed up. Jeremy Lamb is gone too. He went to the Pacers. So Pacers have been actually pretty surprisingly active. Chances of... Oh, I meant to mention that. And I think D'Lo could be a very good option here too. I'm not the biggest fan of D'Angelo Russell. But if you put him on this team, he has played with Ben in high school. He can shoot it. So maybe on a team with all these other guys, he's not going to put up all his boneheaded shots that he did when he was with Brooklyn. He might be a decent option. Depends on how much he gets paid. Looks like point guards are getting paid quite a pretty penny. You saw what Rubio got. He's getting, $16 million a year. Terry Rozier made, $20 million a year? So we might have to pay for him. I don't see Kawhi coming to the Sixers, no. Nope, he's going out west, in my opinion. I don't think the Sixers are going to make a push for Kawhi. He's not coming here. There's no way. Would be cool, but... So it doesn't look like the Sixers are ready to run it. Well, the Sixers brass don't want to run it back with the team that we had last year. I guess they didn't think it was good enough. Good, they re-signed Mike Scott. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, and Simmons is more likely going to get an extension, which is why I think Jimmy is also out the door. They want to lock him up, and you can't have 4 max extensions unless you pay a luxury tax. So I guess the cheap-ass Sixers organization isn't ready to pay that luxury tax, but I don't know how much Ben's going to get, and I feel like they're afraid if they don't pay Ben the max that he's going to route to L.A. So we're going to overpay for Ben Simmons. Let me tell you, if that mofo don't come in here with a jump shot and we're paying him $170 million to $200 million, I'm going to be mad salty, let me tell you. Because he is an issue on offense. You know, he's great in transition, but when you can slow it down to get in the half court, he becomes almost invisible. And you really don't have to put a defender on him because you know he's not going to hoist it up. You wouldn't pay who? Ben Simmons? I don't want to either. I think they're rushing it, but there could be pressure from Ben's camp to try to get it done. Who's better than Tobias Harris? Jimmy? He's also 5 years younger, though. 4 years. 4 or 5 years younger. That's a big question mark. You guys willing to pay Jimmy Butler $30-some million a year for 2 years of him before he starts breaking down? Yeah, he does. I agree. I would not pay Ben Simmons a dime until he shows us major improvement. I don't think so. Ben Simmons better than Tobias? Yeah. I'm not enamored with Ben Simmons. I think he's okay. I don't think he's great by any means. I mean, the dude can't shoot. He's a liability a lot of times. I'm not the biggest Ben fan. He's okay. I'm not paying him all that money until he proves something. At least Tobias Harris has proved something since he's been in the league. You know what I mean? And people say overpaid. Well, look at all these guys getting overpaid. Somebody just paid Kevin Durant, who ruptured his Achilles, $164 million. You don't think that's a chance? Yeah, it was a good move. You gave up Covington and Dario for a chance for a star shooting guard, which we got, but we didn't win anything. And again, I think when Jimmy left this year, it was a cryptic message. It left us feeling like he wasn't going to come back unless certain things went his way. You could say he's a little bit of a prima donna, but he did prove himself in the playoffs. He was very inconsistent during the season, but he proved himself during the playoffs. To use his brother. Yeah, I know, that shit's retarded. And the organization or the coach has to get up in his face and be like, stop using your brother as a shooting coach. Why don't you learn from Ray Allen? Or Tracy McGrady has come out and said, I will help you. Who's going to be our closer? A lot of those games. Tobias can be our closer. Did nobody watch Tobias Harris before he came to the Sixers? I mean, when he was with Detroit, when he was with the Clippers, he was the main option. He can close games out. He's a good basketball player. I feel like people are sleeping on Toby. From what you saw from him from a month, being on a team where there was, too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. Which was the case when he came here. I thought he was a pro. He took a back seat to all those guys. And now with him being here, and I'm pretty sure Jimmy's probably going to be gone, he can be a better option. Who's arrogant? Jimmy Butler? I love Toby. I think he slipped on him. He is young. Yeah, I mean, and plus he's only 20. So he just turned 26. Toby. He's not even in his prime yet. It's like right on the cusp. Have you seen Joel Embiid on you working with one of the best? Yep. Hopefully it stays, Anthony. I hope Embiid can get in better shape, and I hope losing there to Toronto kind of spark something in his competitive nature. The same with Ben Simmons, to get better. Put in the work to be great. Because what we saw last year, sure as shit, wasn't greatness. Not even a little bit. I hope we re-sign Butler. I don't see it. No, I don't think we are. Either re-sign and trade Jimmy and sign Danny Green. Yeah, I mean, Danny Green's still out there. He would be a great option. He can shoot the three. Great defender, too. So it'd be a nice replacement. Who I don't think will cost that much money. Kawhi, I don't know. He could re-sign with Toronto. He could go to either LA team. That's up in the air. I'm not sure where where Kawhi's going to go. That's going to be the big thing, because all they keep talking about is freaking KD and Kyrie to Brooklyn. I'm so tired of hearing about it. Yeah, I hope he doesn't go with LeBron either. I'd rather him compete. I don't think Zaire is ready to start. Nah. I do not. And that's why we need more shooters on this team. So as much shooting as we can gather and put on this team, that's why Tobias was a better option. He's a better shooter than Jimmy Butler. So getting him back was crucial. I wanted Terrence Ross Baya too, but he's stuck with the freaking Magic. The Magic have been spending some major money, but they don't make any sense. They've got a plethora of big men. Yeah, Danny Green would be nice. He would be a really nice option here. Oh, God, I hope we don't get Al Horford. If we get Al Horford or, Julius Randle's out there, even though I don't think he's a fit, just because he's a power forward and you're not going to have him come off the bench. Al Horford wants way too much money. He wants $100 million. No, thank you. Yeah, Seth Curry's out there. I wouldn't mind him coming off the bench. Another good shooting option. Like I said, Quinn Cook has been talked about. A guy that can shoot the ball. He can run a little point. But honestly, if we do deal with the Heat, I would be enamored with getting Tyler Herro. I really like that kid. I wanted him in the draft. I think he went a little higher than expected. That's why we went with the pick we did with Thibault. Yeah, JJ leaving is whatever. I really didn't care about that. He got way overpaid anyway. He was old. It's just a direction that the Sixers want to get younger. He was a defensive liability. We're going to miss his shooting. Definitely. How do you replace him? You got to go out and get a Richardson. Tyler Herro maybe could turn into a JJ at some point. Yeah, he wanted to stay. He's a Brooklyn. He lives in Brooklyn. He could commute, but he wanted more money than taking the minimal of $6 to $8 million a year. Obviously, he wanted a little more, and he got it. He'll be playing with Zion and them down in New Orleans. Don't be sleeping on New Orleans. They're making some moves down there. I can't wait to watch Zion play live next year. I don't know if TJ's going to get re-signed either. There's a lot of ifs, a lot of big question marks with what the Sixers are going to do. I don't see us filling out the bench like I anticipated. Like Derrick Rose, he's gone. A lot of these guys I thought we might pursue are starting to fall off. Re-sign with teams, get traded. We've seen a lot of signing trades. I mean, look at Milwaukee as opposed to signing Malcolm Brogdon. They could have offered him the money. They only ended up saving $3 million, I believe, in the deal, but they traded him for a couple picks. So don't be surprised if they use those picks to make another move, maybe save some cap. George Hill got waived. I wouldn't mind going after him to have him as a backup point. There's still some options out there. The well ain't that dry. Yeah, they got Ricky Rubio. They're in the West. I ain't too worried about the Phoenix Suns. Now the big thing's going to be Kawhi. Since KD and Kyrie are off the board, it's going to be the Kawhi show. Where's Kawhi going to sign? Blah, 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 blah. So we're going to have to listen to this trash for the next couple hours until he makes his decision. We probably won't find that out till Monday, though. I'm really curious to see what the Sixers are going to do. Jimmy to the Clippers? Nah, I don't see that. Why would they do a trade with us? Well, we're going to get the picks back that we traded them? Going to give us Shamet back? Nah. I don't see that happening at all. I mean, I'd love for him to be traded out west. We don't have to deal with him, but you don't want to send him to the Rockets. One, that trade makes absolutely no sense to have three dominant ball handlers, Paul, Harden, and him, and they have no leverage whatsoever. They have nobody they could give us or offer us. That would be any relevant compensation. The only, player they really could give us that has a shit-ass contract would be Eric Gordon, but I'll pass. They've got no draft picks. They got no really young players. He's probably going to the Heat. I'd take Thad Young back. What the hell? I like Thad. I would have loved to trade Drew Holiday, but looks like he's kind of cemented there in New Orleans. I'm praying Kawhi doesn't go to the Lakers and be like the rest of these corny jabronis and make the league watered down and corny as it is. It's going to be trash. Yes, they will. I mean, let's get real. Toronto only won because of all the injuries to Golden State. Let's be honest. And Clay's more than likely not leaving the Bay Area. So, he'll get re-signed. But, Toronto got lucky. But a little bit of luck has to come in the way of winning a championship. Certain teams have to have major injuries. All about your opponents who you faced. Nah, he's not coming to Philly, dude. There's no way in hell. If he comes to Philly, I will dye my hair pink and streak down Broad Street. If Kawhi signs, you can hold me to that shit. If he signs with Philly, pink hair, streaking down Broad Street in broad daylight. Butler. Sean, I think Butler's going. My gut's telling me he's getting traded. Sixers want to be cheap SOBs that are not willing to pay the luxury tax or give him a max contract. So it's going to be a sign and trade. My God, I have such a headache. But until that happens, we'll have to wait and see. This might get drug out a little bit longer. But I had a feeling Tobias would be back here because of the effort the Sixers put in to bring his brothers in for interviews, try him out for Summer League. Because of his age, the way he fits in this scheme with the space and pace, or pace and space, however you want to say it. He just fits better. And, you do lose a closer in Jimmy, but that falls on Tobias now, which I think he can handle just fine. You have a guy that can take the point up, he can shoot, he can go off cuts, he can do a lot. He's a very versatile player. The one thing he lacks is, wow, the Knicks landed somebody. Holy shit, stop the presses. It was bound for them to spend some of that money. Poor Julius. Oh, that's a shame. He took the money. He took the money and ran. Good for you. You think we should go after Horford? Hell no. Not for 4 years, $100 million. I don't. I'd do 3 years for $35 million, but he don't want that. I would do Richardson, Bam Adebayo, Harrow. You have to take a bad contract on. They have to match money. None of those guys make squat. So if you're signing Jimmy to a 4-year, whatever, 110 or 100, whatever million, you gotta throw on a couple bad contracts. Guys making some money on that Heat team. So that would be Dragic, or is James Johnson making a lot of money? I know Kelly Olynyk's making a shit ton. I don't want him either, but he's got a bad contract. You got to match it up somewhere. So, but I definitely want Harrow if we're trading with Miami. I want a young shooter. And Richardson, he is that, but I'd like to have Harrow too. Is he? All right. Well, I guess you could throw him in there again. I don't know the whole money situation, all of these cats. So now the drama just lays on what's going to happen with the Sixers bench, and the big question mark of them all, where is Jimmy Butler going to go? Is he going to be retained with the Philadelphia 76ers, or is he going to be living it up in South Beach? Once I find out, I will come on. We can talk about it and let y'all know. All right, KG, and the anticipation shall continue. All right, Sixers Nation, hopefully we find out what the hell is going to go on. But we're not going to re-sign Jimmy for 5 years, bro. Sixers have already come out and said that. They are not willing to pay 5 years, $190 million. They're not offering Jimmy 5 years. That is, they're putting their foot down. It's either 4 or that's it. See you bye. And I think it's see you bye. All right, Kyle Gaffner with the Bitter Birds. Until we find out what's going on with JB. Peace.